Hi, it's Nancy with Icon Apprentice, and thanks for joining me again as we continue to work on our Guardian Angel icon. We have the Sankir on, we have the outline or the highlights on the robe and the highlights on the wings. We're done with that. And so we are going to begin Flesh 1, and we may also get up into the hair and do our headband. We'll have to choose a color for that. And so, as always, when we write an icon, we pray and put our intentions as prayer into the icon as we paint. And so we will begin with our prayer. So we are going to begin with Flesh 1, which is this bright orange color, as you can see. I'll stir this up just a little bit here. And I will put in the description box the recipe on how to create this color. And it's something you can mix up, and I just use a little, this is a Rubbermaid plastic container. That's what I keep it in. It keeps it very nice. I've had this, oh gosh, I don't know, probably several months. This mixed up just a little bit of it, and I still have quite a bit left. So once you mix this color up, you can keep it for a long time. So we'll put some of this out on our plate. We've got our clean water. We have got our brush, and we're going to be using a number 6 round. Again, I always try to use the largest brush possible for whatever paint I'm laying down. And so we will load our brush. Remember, we're going to roll that brush. We want to get a nice fine point on that. And then we'll go in here, and hopefully you can see I'm using a kind of a different camera angle, and I ask you, if you will give me some feedback. If you think it needs to be closer, I can try to go in and change how I have this set up. But for right now, hopefully you're able to see this. And the first thing that we do is I can just barely see the image of the outline. I'm going to try to get this up close, and hopefully you can see. I can just barely see the features that we drew on. The first thing that we always want to do is we're going to draw in the features and assign the features. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to come in here and lay in around her eye. Up to the eyebrow. I'm laying that in. Go up above the eyebrow and lay in the forehead. And we are going to take that all the way up to the hair. We're trying to get this even. Because it's going to be a large area, it is going to be a little bit difficult, but not impossible to get some nice transition on our colors here. I'm going to put the ear in here. You can just see that ear there. Come down here, let's do the nose. And the nose comes down right in here. Nostril comes out about like that. And then let's see if we can see her mouth. And her bottom lip here. Okay. And of course she's got a little chin right in here. All right. We'll leave a little bit of a distinction here beside her nose. So we're not going all the way up to the nose. We're leaving a tiny bit of a little line there. And then we're coming out around the mouth. And we want to then come and spread this all the way to the cheek line. And down to the chin. All right. Now there is always a little dark spot right under the mouth. And there's always a little dark spot right under the nose as well. Getting just a little. Let me spread that out just a little bit. Got a little thick, I thought. But I don't want to make a hole in this, which looks like I'm going to do if I'm not careful. get too afraid of this. It is looking a little funky right now, but I promise it's going to, we will smooth this out and it will look right eventually. I've just got to move this paint around. It looks like it got a little globby right in there. And you can see I'm kind of trying to spread it using a back and forth, like a little X. An X pattern. Alright, I'm going to let that rest for a minute, and then we're going to come back to it. Let's go up into the neck area and start on the neck. This goes all the way up on the neck to the ear area and comes down. You see I'm leaving just a little bit of a delineation here between the face and the neck area. Just got a little bit of water, because I want to pull that down. And then as I come down into the neck, I am going to follow this little line that we drew, indicating some structure in the neck. And what I'm going to do is probably try to leave like a small line of this dark Sankir as I go through. So when I come down here to the next area, I am just going to leave the barest line. I mean, just almost touching, but not quite. I want the tiniest suggestion there of this darker Sankir color. And it does look a little splotchy right now, but I don't want you to worry about that. It is going to even out. We will just continue to apply our paint. And you can see how bright it went on, and as it dries much darker. So, you know, just remember that as you're going through. Once again, I'm going to try to get as close as I can without actually touching the other orange, so that I'm leaving a little suggestion. And what we want to do is we want to come in here and we're grabbing some paint, not a whole lot, and then we spread it until there's no more paint left. And that's how we want to approach laying this paint down. Now, if you get a tiny bit, I got a little dot of color there, got a tiny bit here, tiny bit here. Just remember, you want to keep an extra clean brush, dampen it, and then you come in and just lift that color before it dries. And you know, if you make a mistake and you let it dry and it doesn't come off as well as you would like it to, just remember that these robes are going to be outlined, so it's possible then for us to come in and cover up any small imperfections like that with the outline. Now obviously that was a very dark area right there. I'm not doing a whole lot more on that. So that is our first coat. Now, areas that are going to be darker are going to be out here on the outside of the face. Let's look at our color copy. Our color reference copy. You can see the upper eyebrow is going to be darker. This area over here on this side of the face is going to be darker. It's not really dark. It's not that dark Sankir, but we're not putting nearly as much orange over here, that first flesh color. This is going to be very dark as well. This part's going to be dark. A little bit of darkness in here. Tiny bit on the side of the face here, like I said, right underneath the chin and under the nose here. So those are areas where we will back off now with some of our paint application and look for the brightest areas as we lay our paint down. We do not want to stop and start our flesh color in exactly the same place every time. And as we lay it down, we don't want to leave a hard line. We want to come in and just kind of feather that back in a little bit and soften that edge as much as we can. dry a little bit. At least we have an outline of where we want the mouth. And this can happen, you know, you can get thrown off. And then what I'll do once this is dry, then I'll come in here and I'll fill this in a little bit better. Now, you can see that this is a fairly dark swath right under here. And so if we look at where that is, it comes from right below the ear, and it kind of comes down underneath the chin and right over here. So this then is where we'll lay in the brightest color. Able to see, I did kind of go in and redo her lips, and hopefully you can see that. I just kind of, after that Sankir dried, I went in with the smaller brush and just filled in the lips so we have a little bit better idea where those lips are. And I still need to, just taking a little liner brush with a tiny bit of flesh color on here, and I just want to re-emphasize them.